Hype, Coach Extraordinaires, VIPs, Squad. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Boy, I'm not going to say hot minute because I'm going to say hot minute because honestly it has. If you guys aren't familiar, Sydney has been hit with a massive flu bomb. And when I say this, we are all sick. And it's not just a sickness with a couple of sniffles and, coughs. No, I'm actually mean that most of us are currently being bedridden, and I'm currently battling the aftermath of that, unfortunately. And I think a lot of people can see eye to eye with me and agree with me when I say that. So it's been a little while since I jumped on here. A lot has happened. I held my third event of the Mindset Reset, and I'm kind of on the edge of doing another one. I love events. That's where my heart and soul is. And when I take, workshops by storm, or when I do workshops, or when I perform at workshops, I really like to create a classroom environment type of aura to really help people get in the mood of really self-awareness, self-adaptability, and really flexibility in really changing their outlook on life. But what do I have for you guys today is a really interesting and fascinating topic. I haven't been a fan of this topic in the past, I will say that, only because I'm not a fan of the word energies or personality traits or anything that limits you just to personality trait. So, I don't like someone calling themselves a overthink or a people please or a paranoid person. I don't like someone restricting themselves to a trait or a behavior to make it a trait, only because I'm a big believer and I've changed so many people's lives in the past with this aspect. So I haven't been a fan of the energy per se term, but in order for me to deliver the message across, I need to obviously speak your language. And today we're going to talk about the dynamic interplay between feminine and masculine energy in relationships. So here's the thing, whether you're single, you're dating, or in a long-term relationships, understanding these energies can significantly impact your connection with your partner, or your connection with other people, or your connection in different aspects of your life. So we're going to explore these energies per se and learn how to harmonize them and create a balanced, fulfilling relationship. So here's something that I found out kind of later on in my healing journey. Because I grew up kind of being the boss bitch, I grew up obviously having my own back, I grew up kind of, picking up the pieces. I really carried that out into my relationships or my friendships. I was always the go-getter. I was always the one that planned. I was always the one that really impacted the relationship. And then I realized later on it was one-sided. So you can't always be feminine energy and you can't always be masculine energy. So you're going to learn how to balance with the two. So why and how does masculine or feminine energy come from? If we turn to the traits of feminine and masculine energy, I like to use them as a balance or a way to coexist within this world. So when a woman is more determined, a woman is, a go-getter, a woman is having a set of qualities that isn't necessarily means to be taken care of, then that would be described as being in her masculine energy. Whereas her feminine energy is being able to kind of switch her brain off, being vulnerable, allowing her intuition, her nurturing, her creativity to come across. And I don't like negative traits on genders. We don't man shame here. I am wholeheartedly and saying that outright. We don't man shame here. Okay. So a woman can have masculine energy and a man can also have a feminine energy. So when we define what these mean by feminine and masculine energy, these terms don't necessarily mean or refer to a gender, but rather a set of qualities or characteristics that can be embodied by anyone, regardless of the gender. Feminine energy is often associated with intuition, empathy, nurturing, creativity, receptiveness. It's all about feeling and being and experiencing life in a flowing and open way. Whereas on the other hand, the masculine energy is linked to traits like assertiveness, logic, focus, direction, taking action. And it's all about achieving, doing, and protecting. So I am not a fan of feminine and masculine, the words of it, only because a lot of people associate it with genders. So I am not going to say, oh, a man shouldn't have feminine energy. That's where the problems exist. Oh, you're not going to say to your partner, it's like, oh, you're so in your feminine energy. And he can really take it into account, like really like you're telling him off, or like you're belittling him or downgrading him. So I don't like the aspect of the gender, but I do, however, like that it's linked to the flow state, the ease, or the assertiveness, the protecting, the achieving. So that's where I like about it. So that's where the issue has happened or arise in the past when people aren't realizing the feminine and masculine energies. So the energies aren't about adhering to the stereotypes. Instead, they're actually providing a framework for understanding about how we can balance aspects of personality about how they play out in our relationship. So think of it as yin and yang. So when we talk about feminine energy first, feminine energy in the relationship brings warmth, compassion, and emotional depth. It's the nurturing and caring side that someone provides in a sense of safety and understanding. So when someone embodies feminine energy, they tend to be more in tune with their emotions and the emotions of their partner. They create a space where their energy can be expressed openly and without judgment. Feminine energy also encompasses the creativity, the intuition. It's a possibility of seeing possibilities, the ability to see possibilities and connect deeper with others and create beauty and harmony. The energy becomes and brings spontaneity and a sense of playfulness in the relationship. And you can also keep things fresh and exciting. However, it's important to note that too much feminine energy without a balance of masculine energy, again, think of it as yin and yang, can lead to a lack of direction or decisiveness. For instance, in a relationship where a partner predominantly is in their feminine energy, there might be a lot of emotional connection, but difficulty making decisions or taking action. The imbalance can lead to stagnation of a sense of being overwhelmed by emotions without a clear path forward. On the flip side, the masculine energy brings structure, clarity, action, and within the relationship, it's the driving force that makes the plans and organizes and moves things forward. So when someone embodies the masculine energy, they tend to be more goal-oriented. They tend to be more decisive. They see a clear future outlook, and they provide the stability and connection that allows the relationship to grow and thrive. The masculine energy also includes the ability to set boundaries and focus on the goals and the decisive action. And the energy is crucial for making plans, solving problems, ensuring the relationship moves forward in a healthy direction. It provides a sense of safety and security, which is essential for the relationship's longevity. Yet, too much masculine energy without the balancing effect of feminine energy can actually lead to rigidity and lack of emotional depth. In a relationship where the partners are predominantly in their masculine energy, they might be a lot of action and achievement, but there's a lack of emotional connection and intimacy. This can create a dynamic where partners feel disconnected or emotionally distant. So how can these energies interact in a relationship? Ideally, there has to be a balance within the two. So going back to what I explained before. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with cultivating masculine energy as well as feminine energy, right? We want a yin and yang. Let's really take apart, right? If a man lacks emotional connection and intimacy and a woman craves that, then there's going to be an imbalance there. If the woman is direction-based and she sees the clear outlook, but the man is more emotional connection and intimacy, there's an imbalance there. If a woman doesn't like to be taken care of and the man likes to take care of someone, which is a man's natural, that's his natural ability, right? There's going to be imbalance there. He's going to feel not needed. A man needs to feel needed in a relationship as much as a woman likes to feel needed in the relationship. A man wants to feel respected. A woman likes to feel like she means something. It's meaningful. So one partner might naturally embody more feminine energy while the other one embodies more masculine energy. It's creating a complementary dynamic. The balance allows for the relationship for both partners to feel seen, heard, and supported. For example, in a balanced relationship, one partner's feminine energy might bring out the emotional support and creativity, while the other's masculine energy brings out stability and direction. Together, they create a harmonious environment where both partners can thrive. However, it's crucial to recognize that if the balance isn't static, over time, partners may shift between energies and depending on the situation for personal growth. So the flexibility and communication is key. Understanding and appreciating these shifts can also lead to a deeper intimacy and mutual respect. What does my partner need right now? What does my partner need from me? Does my partner need me to be logical and stable and future-based? Or does my partner need me to be in the present tense with their energy? What does my partner need from me? What do they respect me for? What can I offer in this relationship? And as we dive deeper and how we can achieve and maintain this balance in our relationships, some of the detailed tips that I'm going to help you navigate and interplay with the feminine and masculine energies. The number one is self-awareness and reflection. So just take some time right now, jot them down. Take time to reflect on your natural tendencies. Do you lean more towards feminine or masculine energy? And understanding your own energy can then help you recognize what you need to bring into balance in your relationship. So journaling is a great tool for this. So we want to write it all down. Write about how you feel in different situations and what energy you embody at the time. Now, I will tell you, if a woman is from personal experience, by the way, so I'm going to put a little right in there. If a woman has grown up in a traumatic environment as a child where she had to have her own back and she couldn't rely on anyone, she's going to lean more towards masculine energy. And if a woman doesn't know and hasn't had the need to have her own back in her childhood, everything's been taken care of, then she's going to lean more into feminine energy. And men are the exact same. Men are very much the same. If a man has always had his own back, and it's fine, had his own back, has, worked from the age of 17, has a mortgage on his back, has always been taking care of everyone, he's taking care of his mom. Let's say, for example, his father passed at a young age, or whatever the case may be, or his father was abusive, and he was made to be the provider, the breadwinner, then he's going to lean more into the masculine energy. But if the man has always been taken care of and everything, he's going to lean more into his feminine energy. Even the influences around the man will significantly influence what energy he would be in or what energy he would lean more towards. Okay? So number 2 is honest and open communication. So actually have conversations with your partner about these concepts and bring them forward. And it's actually really cool because when you really delve into the journaling aspect or the feminine and masculine energy in the relationship, what happens is you pull apart your relationship and really figure out, okay, this needs to change, this doesn't need to change, this works, this doesn't work. So discuss how each of you perceives your own energy and how you see each other's energies. This understanding can foster mutual respect and empathy, using I statements to express your emotions and experiences without blaming or criticizing. For example, I feel more connected when we spend more quality time together, rather than you don't spend time with me. You don't give me enough of your time. Do you see the difference there? It's crazy how literally just a flip of 1 or 2 words makes a massive difference in your language. And also, I find when I have couples in the office, I actually have to teach them this stuff. I ask the question, okay, if you want your partner to spend more time with you, how would you ask them? How would you bring it upon them? And they'll be like, yeah, I bring it up so many times, but nothing changes. Okay, how do you bring it upon them? What do you say to them? And they said, well, I tell them that you don't spend enough time with me. I'm like, You're ultimately immediately allocating blame rather than telling him how you feel. And she'll be like, well, I am telling you how I feel. No. You're blaming. You're criticizing. That is not what the man wants. The minute he goes, she's blaming me, you switched him off. That's it. He's gone. See ya. He's thinking about FIFA or some shit, or Call of Duty or whatever men play these days. So just identify the way you speak to each other and just make little tweaks. Little tweaks, like just a little tweak in the way even when you speak to your children as well, by the way, just small tweaks in your language will make a massive impact on your relationship and how the conversation is meant to be going. If the whole conversation is you blaming, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that. Oh, you're gone. That's it. You've lost the battle before you even started, mate. Done. The third one is flexibility and adaptability. Be open to shifting energies as needed. Oh, yes. Know when to shift to feminine. Know when to shift to masculine. Be aware of it too. Sometimes you need to make a couple more steps into the masculine role to provide direction and make decisions, while other times embracing feminine energy can enhance the emotional intimacy. Let's take, for example, two of you are working. And let's say, for example, you came across some financial trouble. And let's say, for example, the man is freaking panicking because there's financial hardship. There's already a lot on his back. He's meant to be the main breadwinner. He doesn't feel like he's doing enough. And right now he's panicking, right? He's using the words, I feel. He is in the feminine energy space, mind frame. Whereas you, I'm like, you need to shift as a woman. You need to shift into the masculine energy space. You need to provide, okay, planning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my planning. And then you create a plan for what happens after this so you guys can deal with this financial hardship. It happens. This is what happens. But it's a really good example that I just gave you guys there. So if you guys know that something needs to change, you need to shift between the energies as needed. And you don't need to call it masculine or feminine energy. You just got to be like, okay, what do I need to do right here? What do I need to offer? What can I offer? How can I get him into the space? Because if he's in the panic space and he's in the I feel space, and if you're also in the I feel space, you can't fix it. Sorry, not happening. See ya. You need to be in the what can we do about it space. That's the masculine energy. That's the logical side. That's the long future based. That's future oriented. That's fix it. Okay. And you need to support your partner in their energy shifts as well. So don't belittle them. You got to recognize when they need to embody a different strategy and encourage them with the process. So instead of belittling, which most of you do, you need to learn to go, this needs to change. We need to change it. Let's just tweak it. I like what you're going here. I completely understand. Your emotions are valid. Let's change it. Okay. Number 4 is create rituals and practices. You want to establish rituals that honor both energies. For example, having regular date nights where you bring feminine energy through emotional connection while planning future goals together can bring masculine energy. Practices like meditation, yoga, or even regular exercise can help balancing your energies, and meditation and hypnosis can cultivate feminine energy and thoughtfulness and mindfulness and presence, while exercise can enhance masculine energy through physical activity and discipline. You got to embrace your personal growth as well, working on developing your own energies within yourself, and this balance becomes more fulfilling and harmonious into the relationship. For instance, if you naturally embody more feminine energy, practice setting boundaries and making decisions to enhance your masculine energy and leaning towards the masculine energy and expressing your emotions and nurturing the relationships that you have. Engaging activities that challenge your comfort zone, for example, taking a leadership role in a project can boost your masculine energy, while participating in creative or artistic pursuits can also enhance feminine energy. And then obviously give each other mutual support and encouragement to develop these energies as well. So creativity, and celebrate the strengths and support the areas where you want to grow. Look for ways to balance the energies in your daily life, in your interactions, and strive for balance of assertiveness. So the funny thing is, I'm going to give you guys like a little FYI. I personally was so afraid of stepping into the feminine energy space because at first I thought that was a weakness. Yeah. A lot of women, when they've gone through adversity in their life, they think that feminine energy is weakness. Our feminine energy, our emotions, is literally what sets us apart from animals. So you being in your feminine energy and your emotions isn't a weakness. It's rather a gift, a blessing that you can have a harmonious interaction with other people. I mean, can you imagine if you didn't have any emotions? I mean, you'd be a robot. I mean, if you want to be a robot, toodaloo, that's completely fine. But we are humans, and that's literally what sets us apart from animals. That's why I'm so against when people go and try to numb their emotions. Emotions can't be numbed. They shouldn't be numbed, because if you numb your emotions, that is ultimately you avoiding that part of, you know, your masculine or feminine energy, and then there's an imbalance there. So if you're always in your feminine energy, that's exhausting. If you're always in your masculine energy, that is also exhausting. But also, I will add another element into this. when you're in your masculine energy and you're so scared to be in your feminine energy, ultimately what it means is that you're so scared of being out of control because people won't do a good job like you would. Or you don't trust them to do the job like you would, and you can't trust them to see it through. That is a trauma response, comes from childhood. However, a lot of people do it because they've had their own back for so long. So that's where the imbalance is. So when you're in your masculine energy, you need to be able to go, okay, I need to shift to my feminine energy to make sure that there's a balance here. So being able to engage in that activity, to be mindful of what you do right there. And that's something that I learned within my own healing journey with my therapist, that it's okay to shift. Because at first what happened was you find yourself being really confused with, okay, do I lead or do I sit back? Or do I sit back or do I lead? What do I do? What the person needs from me? That's the trial and error really of being in a relationship and finding that connection between you all. So you can't always be in your feminine energy and you can't always be in your masculine energy. Remember, the goal isn't fit to mold, but find a dynamic that works for both you and your partner. Each relationship is unique. It has a balance and it will vary depending on the individuals involved and the context of their lives. By understanding and embracing both feminine and masculine energies, you can create a relationship that is rich in emotional depth, stability, and growth. It's all about celebrating the full spectrum of the human experience and supporting one another in becoming the best versions of yourselves. That's all for today's episode of the Hype Coach podcast. I hope you found this discussion super interesting and insightful, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, share it with your friends, and remember, creating a balanced relationship starts with understanding and embracing both energies within yourself and your partner. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time on the Hype Coach podcast. Stay hyped and keep growing. See ya! Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hype Coach podcast. If you did enjoy this podcast episode, please share it on your socials. You can find me on IG, Safa Al Chami, TikTok, The Al Chami Life, and you can book a personal therapy package at my website, www.thehypecoach.com.au. I look forward to working with you. Let's grow.